when you're first diagnosed, it's very hard to focus. It's very hard to put one step in front of the other. You're like in shock and you go through all the different stages of grief. And it's so important to breathe and to realize that you're not alone. Start to think about who your village is, who you can count on. And certainly if you're married, you have your spouse. If you're not, you have a significant other. And if you're single, you've got friends or family members that come as your village. And I think it's really important to think as clearly as you can. Try to find a mentor. I do a lot of mentoring. There's a lot of resources on my website. And in my book, I have a whole section about resources. Finding a mentor is key. To talk to somebody who's kind of been through what you're going to be going through or what you might be going through is very, very helpful. It helps you relax a bit. It helps you kind of take some kind of control, because the biggest thing that happens when you're diagnosed is that you feel no control and you are just reeling. You're physically reeling, emotionally reeling. You might not be feeling great. And then all this stuff is coming your way and it's very hard to digest it. So it's really important to have somebody like a caregiver or somebody who's going to be with you through the ride, or several people who are going to be with you through the ride, to go with you to doctor appointments, to ask questions, to take notes, start a folder, try to stay as organized as you can. That's another important piece of advice. Get a Pentaflex and put different sections in there for your medical bills, for the notes from doctor's appointments, so that way you have everything with you. It's very hard to stay focused and to concentrate. And that's why it's really good also to always have a family member or a friend with you at a doctor's appointment. Another thing I think is important is you want to tend to isolate when you're going through it. You certainly don't want to retell your story 5 million times. That's why, I got my village and I had them do like update trees on texting. So I didn't have to retell my story or where I'm going 5 million times, because it's very stressful.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very stressful and depressing. And everybody has a different level of comfort of what they want to divulge. Some people go onto these caregiver pages, where you document yourself. I just wanted to have my friends kind of I had one person for my friends in one area, I had one person for my family in different kind of groups, and they were disseminating information and then sending it back to me, because you get to a point where you just don't want to be on the phone, or you don't want to retell things 5 million times, but you want to, receive the positive goodwill that people have, but you don't want to feel compelled to respond and retell the story over and over again. So that was really helpful as well too. I put in things in my book about how to prepare for hospital stays, nuts and bolts kinds of things that are helpful to be when you're going to be in the hospital, because a lot of us have never been in the hospital for long periods of time. And depending on what your treatment is, whether it's inpatient or outpatient, you might be in for a while. I talk about how to deal with non-supportive providers, and how you can get second opinions, and how really to keep your voice and not lose your voice as you're going through this really, really rough time. It's really hard.
What do you mean? What do you mean non-supportive provider?
Doctors who are just not supportive, who are just negative Nancy's, who aren't giving you options. Just like I had mentioned with case management, doctors who aren't open to other opinion. You can have different types of doctors. They all have different personalities. Some people you want to have somebody who's a handholder. Sometimes you don't want to have somebody who's not. If you don't connect for whatever reason, and it's a very individual kind of thing, Richard, if you're not connecting with that doctor and that doctor is going to be with you for a while, then you need to research other options, because you rely on that doctor to disseminate information to you in the way they talk to you. If a doctor's talking to you in a very condescending way, the doctor's really not listening to you. Those are all reasons to really rethink, think about.
What about people that, the doctor pressures them to do something and they may not want to, or the family's pressuring them? You need to do what the doctor says.
Yeah, it's hard because you'll get a lot of like 50 different advice, and you need to kind of make a decision that's best for you. And that's why, Richard, it's really key to have a good medical team, a team that's accessible to you, that listens to you, that isn't condescending to you, because they're going to be your litmus test. They're going to be the ones that you're going to go to when you have questions. Hey, I heard about this. What are your thoughts? You have to have that trust. You have to have that relationship. And in a way, Richard, they become your family. They become your medical family. And you need to feel comfortable and feel that you're being listened to and that they're responsive to you in some way. And it's really important to have that comfort level. And obviously, you're seeing multiple doctors usually, depending on what your diagnosis is. But whoever's going to be the main gatekeeper doctor for your care, there's got to be that level of comfortableness and respect between you two.